Good morning. Happy Thursday, August 24th. Welcome back. My name is PK. This is Bookeemonsters, and we are here to look at normally new releases, but today we're going to be looking at Spy versus Spy September things. And let's get started. The time goes by quickly. Hi, Alicia. Good morning. Happy Friday Eve. In other words, Thursday. Yeah, gosh, I'm ready. I'm wishing it was Friday. It would be nice. How are you doing? For some reason, Keo is restless this morning. I've already taken him out once and he's sitting by the door, which is not his usual thing to do. So I don't know what's going on other than it's Mercury retrograde, which could be just mixing up all kinds of things here. I did not get much reading done yesterday. It's just kind of a wash for me. It was a weird energy day yesterday as well. So I'm hoping things will be different today. Oh, good. Good. I'm going to make sure that banner is gone. And oops, it's not gone. There we go. All right, let me go over into here. I was going to do, just to make sure we've got these out of our way, because I'm starting to, since I wasn't able to upload last Fridays and list the books that were there, I'm getting a little confused on what we've covered or not. But I know we've not covered the middle grade stuff that's here, so we'll look at those real quickly. I'm going to move my light over to here so I have a little better. Or Alicia, do you have a preference? Do you want classic or do you want middle grade? Which would you like to look at today? These will be Spy versus Spy options. What I can start with, I did find a new one yesterday, Tuesday, that looked interesting, called The Missing Activist. I had never heard of this one before. And I believe, yes, it was Kindle Unlimited, so I did borrow it. I just haven't read it yet. It's by Louise Burfitt Dawns, and it's first of a trilogy so far. Don't know if that's the end of it or not, but there's 3 books in there. It says he's missing, so why is no one looking? Vivid, clever, and utterly compelling, The Missing Activist is the story of an outsider's attempt to uncover a deadly conspiracy at the heart of a UK political party, bullying, political scandal, and a murder mystery. Post-referendum Britain and a country on high alert for terrorist attacks. When a young political activist disappears in London, an off-the-wall private investigator, Karen Anderson, is put on the case. She uncovers secrets of a party system that prizes loyalty above truth, a serial killer, and a female jihadi plotting deadly revenge on the British government. But party secrets must be kept at all costs. This isn't technically a spy secret agent kind of thing, but it is in that uncovering terrorism kind of thing that I do like. You can call it like political thriller kind of thing, which we will loosely put into that category too. Okay. So let's look at some middle grade stuff. That'll be fun for a. Now, a lot of these are well known, but in case anybody's watching later and is interested in doing the middle grade, jumping in a little bit more lightly than a hardcore espionage, spy versus spy type of Cold War novel. This is a great series. I found this, I think, through definitely I found it through Killer Cozies. I don't know if it was Sarah or someone else, but this is City Spies by James Ponti. There's 5 in this series. It's just so cute. Sarah Martinez is a hacker. She recently broke into the New York City foster care system to expose her foster parents as cheats and lawbreakers. However, instead of being hailed as a hero, Sarah finds herself facing years in juvenile detention facility and banned from using computers for the same stretch of time. Enter Mother, a British spy who not only gets Sarah released from jail, but also offers her a chance to make a home for herself within a secret MI6 agency. Operating out of a base in Scotland, the city spies are 5 kids from various parts of the world. When they're not attending the local boarding school, they're honing their unique skills such as sleight of hand, breaking and entering, observation, and explosives. All of these allow them to go to places in the world of espionage where adults can't. Before she knows what she's doing, Sarah is heading to Paris for an international youth summit, hacking into a rival school's computer to prevent them from winning €1 million, dangling 30 feet off the side of a building, and trying to stop a villain, all while navigating the complex dynamics of her new team. No one said saving the world was easy. That is such an awesome series. I need to get back to that. And we did talk about Young James Bond here. The first book of that was SilverFin by Charlie Higson. We talked about that last week. Lovely. Spy School is another great one that is well known, but maybe not well known to people who don't read middle grade. I never used to read middle grade. Yes. Oh, it's super cute. And Spy School, Stuart Gibbs. This is first of 11 in series. I've not read this one, but again, it is on my radar. I'm open. Can an undercover nerd become a superstar agent? In the first book in this series, Ben Ripley sure hoped so, and his life may depend on it. Ben Ripley may only be in middle school, but he's already pegged his dream job, CIA or bust. Unfortunately for him, his personality doesn't exactly scream secret agent. In fact, Ben is so awkward he can barely get to school and back without a mishap. Because of his innate nerdiness, Ben is not surprised when he's recruited for a magnet school with a focus on science, but he's entirely shocked to discover that the school is actually a front for a junior CIA academy. Could the CIA really want him? I bet they do. And I was just thinking, if some people don't necessarily know where to jump in Spy versus Spy, you could select a certain niche of it, a certain subgenre of it. You could focus on middle school books. You could focus on females. You could focus on historical. You could focus on classic. Um, you can focus on romance or humor. If you're not, or just jump around. That's I'm a jumper, but maybe I would do better if I chose a certain type. We talked about Harriet the Spy last time. And I'd tell you I love you, but then I'd have to kill you. That was more, not necessarily middle grade, but a little bit older, but still, I would say juvenile. Mac 8. This was one I had found. Mac Undercover, first of 6, and Mac B, Kid Spy. Those ads. Before Mac Barnett was an author, he was a kid. And while he was a kid, he was a spy. Not just any spy, but a spy for the Queen of England. James Bond meets Diary of a Wimpy Kid with this groundbreaking, fully illustrated chapter book series, Mac B, Kid Spy. The precious crown jewels have been stolen. There's only one person who can help the Queen of England, her newest secret agent, Mac B. Mac travels around the globe in search of the stolen treasure, but will he find it in time? From secret identities to karate hijinks, this fast-paced, witty, and historically inspired chapter book will keep readers guessing until the very last page. With full-color illustrations and fascinating historical facts masterfully sprinkled throughout, this series offers adventure, intrigue, absurdity, history, and humor. That would definitely be a lighter jumping into the spy versus spy genre. This is Jada Sly, Artist and Spy. 10-year-old Jada Sly is an artist and a spy in training. When she isn't studying the art from her idols like Jackie Orms, the well-known African-American cartoonist, she's chronicling her spy training and other observations in her art journal. Back home in New York City, after living in France for 5 years, Jada is ready to embark on her first and greatest spy adventure yet. She plans to scour New York City in search of her missing mother, even though everyone thinks her mom died in a plane crash, except Jada, who is certain her mom was a spy too. With the stakes high and danger lurking around every corner, Jada will use one spy technique after another to unlock the mystery of her mother's disappearance, some with hilarious results. After all, she's still learning. And I'm just going to close some extra tabs here. Let's see. Oh, I did find one more. And this was just a very light looking up of keywords, so we can talk about that too. Mrs. Smith's Spy School for Girls, first of 3 so far, by Beth McMullin. A girl discovers her boarding school is actually an elite spy training program, and she must learn the skills of the trade in order to find her mother in this action-packed middle grade debut that's perfect for fans of Stu Gibbs. After a botched escape plan from her boarding school, Abigail is stunned to discover the school is actually a cover for an elite spy ring called the Center, along with being training grounds for future spies. Even more shocking, Abigail's mother is a top agent for the Center, and she has gone MIA, with valuable information that other people would like to have at any cost. Along with a former nemesis and charming boy from her grade, Abigail goes through a crash course in Spy Training 101, often with hilarious and sometimes painful results. But Abigail realizes she might be a better spy in training than she thought, and the answers to her mother's whereabouts are a lot closer than she thinks. Sort of common themes there for kids, but that's okay. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah, they're very cute. Why didn't I go to school like that? I would have loved a school like that. Remember, Harriet the Spy was my favorite book. Ah, of course, I was living in Montana. They probably don't go recruiting in Montana. I'm still living in Montana, but I've been here a while. Um, we're gonna segue a little bit into while I'm seeing it here, some that I like, and my absolute favorite is historical mysteries, and I'm going to count this as a spy versus spy option if one is more historical mystery inclined. Susanna Gregory, this is her Thomas Challoner series. There are 15 in this series, and it's set during the reign of Charles II, which I love. I love this. I love these time periods. Um, this one is a bit more serious minded. I'm not going to say dry, but it is more proceduralish than, say, a kid type story. It says the dour days of Cromwell are over. Charles II is well established at Whitehall Palace, his mistress at hand in rooms over the Holbein Bridge, the heads of some of the regicides on public display. London seethes with new energy, freed from the strictures of the protectorate, but many of its inhabitants, see, coffee's required, have lost their livelihoods. One is Thomas Challoner, a reluctant spy for the feared Secretary of State John Thurlow. He was a real guy, and now returned from Holland in desperate need of employment. His erstwhile boss, knowing he has many enemies at court, recommends Thomas to Lord Clarendon, but in return demands that Thomas keep him informed of any plot against him. But what Thomas discovers is that Thurlow had sent another ex-employee to Whitehall, and he is dead, supposedly murdered by footpads near the Thames. Challoner volunteers to investigate his killing. Instead, he is dispatched to the Tower to unearth the gold buried by the last governor. He discovers not treasure, but evidence that greed and self-interest are uppermost in men's minds, whoever is in power, and that his life has no value to either side. I do like that series. I am behind in that series, though. One, I don't know if we talked about this one last time, but I do have this one out from the library, so it needs to be sooner rather than later. This is a trilogy, the Kate Henderson thrillers. Secret Service by Tom Bradby. We might have talked about this last time because it's a female. An MI6 officer must find a traitor hiding within the hidden ranks of government in a new thriller. Senior MI6 officer Kate Henderson is in possession of the political equivalent of a nuclear bomb. She heads up the Russia desk of the Secret Intelligence Service, and one of her undercover operations has revealed some alarming evidence that a senior UK politician is a high-level Russian informer. Determined to find the identity of the traitor, Kate must risk everything to get to the truth, until a young woman is brutally murdered as a consequence, which puts Kate and her team under a spotlight. With blood on her hands, her reputation to uphold, her family hanging by a thread, and an election looming, Kate is quickly running out of options and out of time. This is one definitely on my TBR for this September, but it probably needs to go back within 2 weeks, so it'll be an earlier read. I don't think I can renew it. Um, let's look at. I also have this one out from the library. I don't know if I'll get to it this time. It's first of 12. It's called Hawke by Ted Bell. On a yacht in the warm blue waters of the Caribbean, a young boy named Alex Hawke, hidden in a secret compartment, witnesses the brutal murder of his parents at the hands of two strange men. The only survivors of the attack, Alex and his father's black parrot Sniper, are sent back to the island off the coast of England where his family had lived and where generations of Hawks have called home ever since their pirate forebear, the legendary Black Hawk, was betrayed and hung by the British. Decades later, the boy, now a grown man and a naval hero, returns to the Caribbean on a special mission for the United States and Great Britain. His task is to find a secret stealth submarine that has mysteriously disappeared and the men responsible for the theft. Once there, however, Hawke begins to have flashbacks about the night of his parents' murder. He has also brought along with him a piece of paper his father had pressed into his hands before locking him into the compartment, an ancient treasure map. Hawke begins to puzzle through his own tragic history and the meaning of the map, even as the search for the submarine intensifies. As Hawke nears the end of his search for his parents' killers and the men who stole the submarine, he begins to realize that they are one and the same, and that the victor not only will go will not only will only yeah, the rest of that. But it had intriguing concept to it, which is why I have it out from the library. And I think the rest of the books, that's kind of like his origin story. And then from there, um, it gets more into espionage type of things. So that one is on my TBR, but a little bit lower. This one is more in line. It's current. I did read this one last year, I think. Oh, good, good. Yeah, I want to read that one. It did look, kind of a mixture of who am I thinking? Oh, like the movie Sahara based on the Clive Cussler books that starred Matthew McConaughey, but also an espionage. So that's what intrigued me about that one. But this one I did read. This is called Agent Zero. It's first of 12 in series by Jack Mars. Kent Steele, 38, a brilliant professor of European history at Columbia University, lives a quiet life in a New York suburb with his two teenage daughters. All that changes when late one night he gets a knock on his door and is abducted by three terrorists and finds himself flown across the ocean to be interrogated in a basement in Paris. They are convinced that Kent is the most lethal spy the CIA has ever known. He is convinced they have the wrong man. Do they? With a conspiracy around him, adversaries as smart as he is, and an assassin on his tail, the wild game of cat and mouse leads Kent on a perilous road, one that may lead back to Langley and to a shocking discovery of his own identity. I did like it. I just haven't, and I do have the second one, I just haven't read it yet. So, I gotta talk about this. And I guess one of the reasons why I really like spy versus spy kinds of stories is that there's intelligence, and if they do it well, there's such intricate plotting that I really like. Now this series I absolutely love. I read this one back in 2015. And he has stopped writing as far as I can tell. But this is called Red Cell by Mark Henshaw. It says first of three, but there's actually four here. Um, After her first assignment in Venezuela goes disastrously awry, rookie case officer Kyra Stryker is brought back to Langley to work in the Red Cell, the CIA's out of the box think tank. There she's paired with Jonathan Burke, a straight laced analyst who has alienated his colleagues with his unorthodox methods and a knack for always being right. Political consequences be damned. When a raid on Chinese spies in Taiwan ends in a shootout and the release of deadly chemical, CIA Director Kathy Cook returns to the Red Cell to figure out why China is ready to invade the island nation without any fear of reprisal from the U.S. Navy. Stryker and Burke's only lead is the top CIA asset in China, codenamed Pioneer. When Pioneer reports that Chinese security has him under surveillance, Stryker is offered a chance for redemption with a highly dangerous mission: extract Pioneer from China before he's arrested and executed. The answers he holds could mean the difference between peace in the Pacific or another world war. From CIA headquarters to the White House to a Navy carrier in the South China Sea and the dark alleyways of Beijing, Red Cell takes readers on a whirlwind race against time as Stryker and Burke work to save Pioneer and discover the hidden threat to America's power, China's top secret weapon. And the author himself is a CIA analyst. And why I was drawn to this is I l- I love the intelligence analyst side of things. There was a one season series on AMC years ago called Rubicon that was just fantastic. And for years after that, it was not available in any form because they got a little too close to how America does business. And it was shortly after 9/11. So, but it just came back out on Amazon. And I just loved it because I love that intelligence analyst side of things. But I also love the James Bond side of things. Um, I'm not so much in the sniper school of spy versus spy, and there's a lot of them out there, and they're not bad. But I like the more puzzle solving side to my spy versus spy stuff. Yeah, I highly recommend Red Cell if you want a smart, and I love the going to different places. Oh, we need to find this clue. Now we got to go to this place and talk to. I love that. That is so. I love that series. Yes, so cool. Well, we ran out of time again. Um, so I appreciate you being here, Alicia. You got up early. Well, early-ish. um, but anybody can watch this on replay. And if you like what you're seeing, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I am doing reading sprints tonight at 6:05 p.m., 8:05 p.m. Eastern time. For 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, just meditate because we listen to cool music. Last night we had very cool jellyfish. Actually, the night before we had different cool jellyfish. The jellyfish are very cool. But other than that, I hope you have a good reading day. I hope I have a better reading day today than yesterday. I mean, we can only go up, right? Um, Make sure you're reading something you're enjoying because reading is fun. Make the time to do it. This is your time. This is self-care. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a great Thursday. Hope to see you tonight. God bless.